G'day everyone, welcome back to Wheel2Wheel Racing. We are here for our one and only stream tonight and at a very wet Red Bull ring at the moment for our next round of the Porsche Cup Series. Tonight here with me in the commentary box is the one and only Goat.
How are we, Dragon? It is good to be here. We are at, as you said, a wet Red Bull ring and it will be packed with action. Just coming off the Div 1 race, it was, there's a fair bit of chaos in that last race. The rain really equalised it for everyone, so it's going to be an interesting one tonight, definitely.
Yep, some people certainly ran out of skill in that one.
Yeah.
And tonight here
confirm.
on the visuals we have Fixer Chris.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies, we didn't deliver a stream for Division 1, but we're here for Division 2. Plenty of chaos, and maybe some people will, go towards lose talent. But I'm also expecting some loss because, coming out of Div 1 race is probably the funniest round I've ever participated in.
There was a lot going on throughout those races, so fair to say for that one. As we wait for everyone to tick in, race 1 here is just going to be a 6-lapper, and the kind of standing water on the track is right at the point where you either want to be on softs or inters. It's kind of a 50-50 between those. You might get a little bit more rain on the outlap and then the softs aren't optimal, you don't know yet, so it's going to be very interesting to see how these Div 2 drivers handle that here tonight. Just waiting on our final driver to tick in.
Yeah, and as you said, like a wet track is predictable. Like, you can sort of gauge braking markers of how much grip there is and all that. But the dangerous bit is a drying track, because that's when you've got grip on, we call it the dry line. But if you go off the dry line, there's just no grip, because it's still wet, because it hasn't been dried out by the cars. So that is
the way the drying line works, as well as a lot of the driving around Red Bull in the dry, would be using a lot of the curbs on corner exit and entry to widen up the track wherever you can. But in the rain, those become extremely slippery and can cause you to... There's puddles that form on them, so you can aquaplane in some places, lock up, spin. It's just... it's a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, it definitely is.
We'll start our run through the grid here. Leading us through is Squiddy the Boss in the Scuderia Quadrifoglio Hybrid Ag liveried Porsche there. Behind Squiddy is Suit Lad in that privateer entry. Next on my radar is Brutal. Go on ahead, there you go.
We've got Brutal in the Team Dodgy Racing Hybrid Ag entry, and then I believe we skipped Corbin.
We'll get back around to him eventually, don't worry about him.
Alrighty. And and then behind him we have Scuderia Quadrifoglio, driven by MCDC.
Yep, just behind MCDC we have AMS Excavations, Dem Hexagon's driver Darth Berserk, and close behind Darth Berserk is Midrisky in the L-Plan liveried Porsche.
Yeah, then we've got another TDR driver, who is Baker Boy. And
filling in for Dodgy here tonight is Baker Boy.
Yep, Dodgy can't be here today. So we've got him filling in. Then we've got Oily in the 13R entry.
Yep, just behind Oily we have the last of our 13R entries in Jonesy, and now in second, as his number has updated, we have CCH in the L-Plan entry, tucking into that slipstream of Squiddy. Both on different tyres, these two. Squiddy on the intermediates and Corbin on the racing softs. Very interesting to see what plays out here. I think the softs might be the go-to tyre here. As Tate just squeaking in. It's the equivalent to, I guess, having some car troubles early on in quali and having to just get the car out there after missing a couple of minutes. And Corbin hustling Squiddy. He's going to go for an overtake on his fast lap here, which I would not recommend. That's just ruined both drivers' laps here.
Yeah.
He just pushes on by, does Corbin. So he very much could have backed off after his lap was already ruined, but he's decided to push by Squid there and take out both of their laps. Suitblad controller and in third, just behind them at the minute. So we'll see how these three drivers do.
Yeah. I'm expecting Corbin's to be quicker than Squiddy's.
That's a pretty safe bet there.
Yeah, but what's starting us off at the minute is a 32-1.
Yeah, so, brutal 300ths of a second behind for second there as well, so very close at the top.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is, it might dry out this track.
So the fill-in driver for Team Dodgy Racing putting it on provisional pole here after taking out, I believe, a podium in race 3, Div 3, which just recently finished. So he's in the zone. He's well practiced with the races here tonight and showing it as we have Tate emerging from the pits just behind Baker Boy. Going to get a couple of minutes quali in there.
Yeah, and the track should dry out a bit more. I can't see any more rain on the forecast, so so it's only going to get drier. So technically, these will be the slowest laps, and probably the last lap will
goes,
be the quickest.
1.3 seconds purple.
Yeah, so there's a bit of time in Baker's lap there.
Yeah, Tate's not missing out on much. So still has the possibility to put it on pole position.
Baker Boy purple by 0.9 of a second as well, coming through the second sector. Corbin goes purple with a 130.3. Brutal goes second with a 130.9. Baker Boy rounding the last corner now. Sometimes coming through. MCDC goes fourth. Berserk seventh. Baker Boy is going to go second with a 130.7. Brutal has had an oopsie as well coming out of turn 1, facing the wrong way. And just has to sit there and wait for everyone. Oh, he's gone to reset. There you go. That saves him having to wait for everyone, I guess.
And Squiddy's just come out on softs, so he has caught on that softs are the better tyre around here, so he's just jumped onto softs and should see a bit quick times out of him.
Tate's just gone purple through sector 1 as well, but caught a little bit of the inside curb of turn 3 and lost a lot of his run down to turn 4 here. Quite a long run, and you need all that momentum in these Porsche as they struggle to get up to top speed. He's using a bit of curve on the exit there as well.
He's playing with danger using the curb. I found out in race 1 that using the curb at the exit of turn 4, I had like a weird oversteer moment, and that costed me even a race win. So Tate really playing with danger here.
But he is cruising around with good amount of pace. He has Darth Berserk and I believe Baker Boy rolling around ahead of him at the moment, but I'm going to stay with Tate as he rounds the last corner, see what the first lap time is going to look like here. Baker Boy goes second, Suit Lad third, Tate jumps up into second, 29.8, Corbin with a 29.4 on his last lap.
Just like that,
so
Tate puts it into second.
Yes, currently Corbin first, Tate second, Baker Boy third. Suit Lad is in fourth, but with a 1 second penalty. This lap will be ruined, but still will be able to crack on to the next one. MCDC's taken 5th place off of Brutal, and what a battle they had last season for the top of Div 3. Jonesy goes into 4th there, putting 13R up in the pointy end of the field.
And speaking of Jonesy, he was in the sharp end of Div 2 for a very long time. This is a great opportunity for all of our Div 2 drivers with the absence of Flossie, unfortunately, with some game issues.
Yeah, missing Flossie and Broken Spoke here tonight. Oil in My Blood goes third with his first flying lap that time around as well, beating out Baker Boy by a quarter of a tenth of a second. Corbin goes purple even more, 28.6 out of Corbin.
That is, yeah, as you can see, the track is drying out a lot more, and they're finding a fair bit of time. As MCDC's gone second with a 29.8.
Oh,
And
they
then
all changed now.
Oh,
Tate
Tate.
second, Baker Boy back into third. No matter what he does, he just keeps ending up back there. The AMS Excavations entry of Dark Berserk in the top 5. Brutal jumps his teammate into third as well now, as everyone's got time for about one more lap.
A bit conservative coming into 2-3 from Dark Berserk, and who's behind him? Baker Boy, I think. Yeah.
Baker Boy,
it's
yeah.
Baker Boy.
Corbin's got a 1 second penalty, no improvement from him this time around. I saw another 1 second penalty floating around. It's Jonesy, 1.5 second penalty. Mid-risky emerging from the pits here. Quite a bit happening throughout the field here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump on board with Baker Boy, who's tailing Dark Berserk, see how he does. He goes like a 10
He's up.
on his personal best.
Won't be enough to get oily, but a bit of slipstream and nailing these last couple corners could be all the difference here.
Down to
he's
fourth.
got the first one quite nice.
Down to third for
Down
10.
to third gear. Wasn't too bad.
Suit Lad goes third.
Wasn't
MCDC second. Baker Boy
goes to
seventh.
7.
Someone else just behind there has jumped up as well. Oh, Squiddy. There it is, fourth for Squiddy. They've been given their 1 minute warning. We've got Jonesy coming around to serve a 1.5 second penalty. So we won't see any improvement out of Jonesy. I think Mid-Risky's the only other car. Mid-Risky and Oil might finish their lap. We'll see how they go here.
It says Madriski's on an out lap on my screen. I don't know if that's correct
That
or
it
not.
does.
I think
Well, and he's held up Oily there, unfortunately.
Is he on a hot
I
lap?
think that's because he
Yeah,
is.
Oily
He
was on a
did
hot
come
lap.
out of the pits.
Ah,
And that's certainly impacted Oily there. Unfortunate.
but plenty to gain or lose during the race, as we just heard from our testimonies in Division 1.
So Corbin goes better on his final lap after the time is up, but gets beaten out by Brutal from Team Dodgy Racing there for pole. Corbin second, Tate third, Squiddy fourth, MCDC in fifth. MCDC's finished a lap after the time there as well, actually. That's a little unsportsmanlike, but we'll see what the stewards have to say about that one.
Yeah.
As I reckon we jump on board with one of the Scuderia drivers in fourth or fifth here, as we wait for the start.
Okay, I'd say Squiddy. Jump on board with Squiddy.
All right.
Yeah.
On that
Let's jump
outside
inside.
line,
Oh,
slick
yeah.
track.
Start.
Here we go,
Starting from
5
second
lights,
Second gear.
and we're off.
Down to first.
It's not worked out for him. The 4 ahead of him have gotten away well. He's getting swarmed by Baker Boy up the inside and Suit Lad as well. Baker Boy conservative on the brakes. Squiddy's gone deep. He's re-entered. Oh, the track right in front of Suit Lad. He's going to get passed by Baker Boy. Oily side by side with Squiddy now as well, as we run down to turn 3 and 4 here. 2 and 3. In the braking zone, moves being made. Tate and Corbin side by side. MCDC's got a big old lick of oversteer coming out of there as well, as is half of the field in the background there. Dark Berserk fallen back to 9th place, Mid-Risky in 11th. Baker Boy and Squid side by side coming into turn 4 now as well. So it is all happening everywhere. Squiddy late on the brakes around the outside. Baker Boy's still got his nose up the inside here. And he's got
Brutal
the
lead.
exit.
Yeah, he does too. Baker's held that well. Squid's on intermediates, which is kind of
Ah.
So is Oily actually.
Oily and Squid are on intermediate. Yeah, because they did start qualifying on intermediates, then change to softs. So that's not going to be great for them.
Squid's
gonna pit. That's gonna cost them both.
That's
Yeah.
terrible
But
luck there.
that's just how the game works, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we've still got Brutal.
Barely. He's going to lose that spot to Corbin here.
Yeah, I was going to say Brutal's still holding the lead, but Corbin might have something to say about that as he tries to find a way around the outside into turn 3.
Brutal's
breaks
on the brakes.
Corbin holds it. It's still going.
They're still side by side.
It's gonna go to turn 4 here. See if Corbin can hold this around the outside. It's a little bit more grip on the outside, so it could make this work.
Brutal's beautifully on the brakes there. He's done an incredible job to outbrake Corbin everywhere there.
Yeah, good positioning.
Yeah.
And the top 3 have a 1.7 second breakaway, so I guess they feel comfortable enough to battle between themselves. Tate washes out a little bit wide. Corbin hits the apex nicely, and Brutal ran a little bit wide there as well. Oh, he's on the power too early. He could get a penalty there. There it is. Half a second. He'll have to serve that one next lap. Corbin up the inside now.
This is an unconventional overtaking spot.
Oh, look at the grip around the outside from Brutal. What a drive so far.
Well, I thought Brutal would have lost that, but it just shows you that racing line is still very slippery.
Immediately defends the inside line.
Dark Berserk back in 7th has just flown past Oily, who's picked up a 1 second penalty. Jonesy's going to fly on by as well. Oily realising he's on the wrong tyre. He's not fighting too hard. Oh, yes he is.
Corbin got a half-second penalty
Corbin's just found a half-second penalty, so that...
Tate in the driver's seat. Oh, he's broken late! Oh, no! Oh, no, the drama! Here comes MCDC to take that spot off of Tate.
It's kicking off, folks.
Oh, wow. So, this is going to come back into MCDC's hands. He's going to have 2 drivers right in front of him.
Yeah, Tate now with Suit Lad right underneath that rear wing as well. And Brutal's built himself a 1.4 second gap in the lead right now. So even with that half a second penalty, he should be able to hold the lead with Corbin serving one as well.
Yeah. Corbin saw Brutal's penalty and got a bit jealous, so had to get his own.
Oh, they're side by side behind him, 4th and 5th, Suit Lad and Tate. Coming out of there, that's not a conventional place. Tate's still enough alongside to try and defend the position. Suit Lad goes around the outside well. Tate's still there though, bogged down a little bit in 4th, clips the apex. Oh, Suit Lad's pushed a little wide and Tate's going to hold on to that spot.
Oh, and gets a half a second penalty for good measure.
Oh, that's very unfortunate. So Corbin has not lost that spot to MCDC, even with the half a second penalty.
Yeah, it didn't actually cost him that much in the end. So,
Yeah, because Brutal and Corbin both got a half second penalty, so the gap between them should be like neutral after they serve their
Brutal with a massive slide. So Brutal's he's losing a bit of time to Corbin. Last lap though, Brutal a 32.2 and Corbin a 33.0.
There you go.
Squiddy, our fastest driver on track with a 31.6, 12 seconds off the back of Oily, so trying to make that one up. Baker Boy might get Suit Lad here for 5th place as we come on through the infield here.
Yeah, I reckon he can if he stays around about half a second behind.
As well. It's a tricky one because you don't lose too much time with this penalty zone. They could have made it a lot meaner by putting it on one of the longer straights.
Oh, Suitlad keeps it.
Yeah, Suitlad.
Yeah, Baker Boy was extra cautious there, saw Suitlad coming back onto the racing line and coasted
Brilliant
a bit
drive
early.
from Baker Boy. But yeah, Dragon, touching on the track limit, or not track limit, the penalty line. I think in Gran Turismo Sport, there was also a penalty line out of turn 3, and I think that's
There
more
was.
ideal
Yeah.
instead of like before turn 9, because out of turn 3 and then you serve the penalty, you lose a lot more time compared to
Yeah,
to turn 9.
either out of turn 1 or turn 3 would be
Yeah.
the better place for it.
Yep.
But the battle for first is starting to close up a little bit. Last lap, Corbin with a 30.1 to try and close that gap to Brutal, who did a 30.6, half a second between them now, with about 2 minutes left to race. That battle for third is still on between Tate and MCDC too.
It's very hard to pass here, like with that, because you've got that aero wash coming out of the coast, so you're coming into this last sector here, and you lose a fair bit of time. But yeah, it's sort of hard to stay close to
This
get them
battle
into
for the lead is going to be so close come the finish of the race here.
Yeah.
Corbin is half a second purple on that 30.1 as well. Brutal semi-defensive, returning to the racing line, coming into the braking zone. Corbin broke quite cautiously in there. Brutal using all the track available. Oh, got a little bit of correction coming across the apex, and Corbin's got the better run. Defensive into turn 1 he goes. 29.2 out of Corbin that time around. 29.6 out of Brutal. Brutal returns to the racing line before the braking zone as well.
Corbin needs a good
Getting on the power. He does.
Yeah, Corbin got a pretty good run out of that corner.
Around the outside can be done here. The outside line on the exit of turn 3 here has so much more grip. Here we go on the brakes. Identical under brakes. Oh, Brutal's pushed him a little bit wide there, running him all out of room.
That's a la Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen there.
Yep, still a terrible move from the F1 standards. Here we go, Brutal defensive again. Oh, Corbin's got a bit of a slide on there. He's very wide. He's going to have the inside as they come through to the infield here, I think. Yeah, he's just got his nose alongside enough. Brutal later on the brakes. He's wide. Oh, contact made again. They're still side by side as we come into the second part of the infield. And Corbin's going to take that spot off of Brutal. He's got to run.
Magnificent.
I don't think it's enough.
See if we can make the magic happen.
I don't think it's enough of a run here. He showed the nose.
He considered it.
Yeah.
One more corner for Corbin, and he's done well.
Yeah.
No
well
curbs
done.
to spin on this time, Corbin. Good job, taken first. Brutal second. MCDC is going to hold off Tate for third. Suitlad fifth. Baker Boy sixth. Darth Berserk is going to claim seventh. Midriski going from 11th to 8th. There's a great effort there. Jonesy in 9th. Oily is going to be in 10th, but he's almost been chased down by Squid, who is going to come home in 11th. So Squiddy made up about 17 to 16 seconds on Oily there after that pit stop.
Yeah, can't say it's entirely their fault, but that's just how the game works.
I can and will. They had a 1 minute warning and decided not to change their tyres, so...
That's just how the game works, folks.
It's how it is sometimes.
So congratulations again to our top three. Corbin and Brutal having a great battle in the end there. Yeah.
And third, Goat?
And third was good.
You remember?
Third did a good job too. It was MCDC.
MCD, yeah, that's right.
In third. We were so focused on that battle for first. Goat's gone a little bit smooth brain there and forgot that one.
Yeah, the smooth pebble brain action. But yeah, well done to MCDC.
I'll probably let your memory and your head cool down while I roll some ads from AMS Excavation and 180 Embroidery. Be right back, folks. have it, folks. Some words from our sponsors at AMS Excavations and 180 Embroidery. Thank you very much. We'll hear more about them, more of our sponsors, from our sponsors later on.
Yes, as the settings have changed for race 2, it's going to be 8 laps with mediums being the tyre available in a nice, dry, cloudy track here. So it should be a little more even throughout the field, I would expect, without the X factor of the wet weather.
Yeah, it's more of a perfectly straightforward, let's say.
Yes. This one we go to a 1-lap quali, and
our host is on the wrong tire. So naughty there, Jonesy.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's forgotten to change that setting. So, does leave it available. But everyone else has been pretty good.
Yeah. Everyone's let him know there. Alrighty, I will let them know that the pit lane's open. And we'll see how these guys go getting through the 1-lap quali. Some people love the pressure of this one. I personally crumble under it every time, having to put it together in that 1 lap. If I have like a good first and second sector, I get too scared to push through the third sector, so I'll go conservative and throw the lap away anyway, is my go-to.
Well, there goes your future in V8 Supercars.
Hey, I'm the pit man. Everyone knows that my motorsport dream is the fuel guy for the Castrol team.
We are not sponsored by them, by the way.
And nobody should have to leave the track to put back here.
Yeah, you're saying go?
Oh yeah, with this 1-lap quali, I just go for a mediocre lap, and then you just can't go wrong either way. I mean, you don't have a good lap to lose then.
Corbin letting a few drivers through here. Squiddy, Brutal, MCDC. Just looking for a bit of space by the looks of it. And unable to find it as he's been coasting around the lap for about 15 to 20 seconds here, and everyone in front of him is going too slow for him to have a nice little window.
I think he's just looking for Madrisky. Gonna drag him along.
Yeah.
Mid needs the result. He deserves a good result, does Midrisky. He very often cops the not so nice end of the stick.
Definitely does.
Just unfortunately, usually on the bad end of incidents, racing incidents, or big incidents. Yeah, so I'd love to see Midrisky get a good result here.
Yeah. Hate to say it, but Squid has just found 1 second worth of penalties, just starting his hot lap. So
that's just I don't know. That's his handicap. He's put the handicap on.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to put it on pole. That's what it is.
He's just taking.
That's it.
Luckily for him, he can serve the 1 second penalty on this lap and still get a quali lap in. So if anyone else has some dramas trying to get around, they have a spin or something, he'll still out-qualify them rather than his lap just being completely deleted. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way of Brutal, who's about, I'd say, 1.5 seconds behind.
As we saw Tate doing a skid earlier on, out of turn 3. Love to do skids, the Drift King will. Oh, Corbin playing with the track limits there. At what corner is that? I cannot. 6, 7.
Not sure. Squiddy's burnt the penalty, and unfortunately he's ended up right on the apex of the corner in front of Brutal as they come through the last corner here. I don't think it impeded him too much, but it definitely hurt him a little bit. Coming to the line at 29.6 from Brutal. We'll see what Tate can get here. Tate goes top. Corbin goes top with a 28.9. As the times come flooding on through, we've got Darth Berserk in 8th, coming to the line now. he goes third. There does Daft Berserk with a 29.5. That's a solid effort there out of Daft Berserk. 213R drivers, our last two remaining here. Jonesy round at the last corner, right on the edge of the track limits.
Not sure
He's
about
not
that,
happy, it's a 140 anyway.
it's
and here comes Oily. 27, 28, 29. It's gone. 7th has Oily with a 30.0, just ahead of MCDC. So Corbin takes pole from Tate, Daft Berserk and Baker Boy on the second row. Brutal and Mid make up the third row. Oily and MCDC on the fourth. Suit Lad and Squid on the fifth row, and Jonesy all by his lonesome at the back of the field there, with Squiddy within touching distance, which is always the plus.
And this is the first qualifying session that Flossie hasn't topped, by the way.
Just because he isn't here, I don't think that counts against his record.
Yeah.
Just want to give a quick reminder before this next race starts for everyone to give the stream a like. We very much would appreciate that. Subscribe if you're not already, and give us some comments in the chat. Let us know where you're at, how your race went, or etc. There's 3 lights, 4, 5 lights are on. A lot easier to get the car off the line this time around. First gear on the limiter for a lot of guys. The 2 TDR guys have nailed the start and are swarming Daft Berserk for that 3rd and 4th spot. Baker Boy up the inside. Brutal Fog. MCDC. Oh, that's not good from the Scuderia guys, but Squiddy has parted the seas, serving that 1 second penalty on his quali lap, and is now up into 5th with Oily and Brutal side by side, back for 8th place now. Brutal late on the brakes. He's almost had enough to get his nose up the inside. Suit Lad's around on the exit. He's on the grass trying to recover. And out the front, Corbin is already away to a 0.6 lead from Tate. Tate back to Baker Boy is about a second. Baker Boy still has Daft Berserk for company for that 4th spot, and Squiddy close behind in 5th. Mid-Risky and Brutal have themselves a little bit of a battle here as well, so plenty to happen throughout this race. This is 1 minute into about a 12-minute race here.
So
and it's going to be fast with a lot of overtaking. It's just a 8-lap sprint race, and it should stay dry for the remainder of it. And,
well, let's hope so, otherwise it's going to throw an absolute spanner into the works for all of these drivers. It's a big grey off in the mountains on the distance there.
Last lap drifting session.
Oh, Corbin has a 1 second penalty.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Anyway. Tate was getting wild on the curb out of turn 1 there, playing with them track limits. I got stung by those turn 1 track limits myself, so I know how that feels. He's gotten away with it though, and the gap is 0.4 to Corbin. He's just got to stay within striking distance come that penalty zone.
I feel like the track limits at turn 1 is a bit ambiguous. I don't know about you guys. Don't know exactly what the track limit is.
Yeah, it is a bit.
There's quite a pack forming down past 9th place here. They all Constantine it up into turn 3 there, and I think there's a bit of contact made throughout all of them. Lucky to get away without any spins there.
Anyway, good. See?
It can be a bit inconsistent there. Like, I have gone all 4 wheels off and got a penalty, but it is a bit, a bit inconsistent.
Alright, here comes the penalty burn from Corbin. He's got an exactly 1 second lead before it. Here comes Tate, on by, easy as you like. Baker Boy now coming up onto the rear end of Corbin. He's dropped up Berserk a little bit, 1 second gap back to 4th now. Squiddy still lurking in the background there as well. So top 3 are broken away.
Brilliant show from Baker Boy here so far.
Yeah, Baker Boy is doing really well. Replacing Dodgy. So,
as you say that, he's had an absolutely wild moment.
off
instead
Baker
of
Boy.
that goat, let's just talk about Squid, because I think getting
Yeah,
that
yeah,
1
it's-
second penalty on qualifying is all part of the Scuderia master plan.
There's penalties everywhere at the back of the field. Oiley's got a half a second in ninth. Suit Lad behind him has a second. MCDC looking around the outside of Oiley. Under brakes here.
Oh,
MCDC's
flashing
run a
lights,
little bit
man.
wide.
Penalties
Oh.
galore.
it's kicking off.
Yeah, there's a lot of penalties to be had around here. Up ahead of them, Midrisky and Brutal are side by side through turn 4. Brutal's got the run as well after that turn 1 chaos, fighting his way back up through the field. He comes across the track to cover off Midrisky. 1.9 seconds the gap up to 5th for him to recover this one. Baker Boy falling a little bit off of the lead pack as well of Corbin and Tate, so could still be a possible third up for grabs here if Brutal nails this.
And also giving Baker Boy a shout out, saying he did well in Div as well.
That he did.
Shows.
I saw, I think there was multiple top 5s. I believe he got a podium in race 3 as well.
Fantastic.
Tate goes purple with a 28.8 and immediately loses it to Corbin, who's set at 28.4. Oh, both these guys looking wild through turn 1 as the car bucks around across the big old, I don't know what it is, that weird little bump that can just unsettle your car massively coming through there.
Yeah, it's like a sausage curve. It's a bit weird. Yeah, a bit of a lumpy curve.
Ooh, tandem
Oh,
drifts from
Midrisky.
Tate and Corbin. Oh, Midrisky
Yeah,
found
and,
himself a 1 second penalty.
That he has, as has Jonesy just behind him. So, I don't think we saw this many penalties in Div 1, so they're really
think
starting
so.
to play a role here tonight.
Yeah.
We definitely saw a couple, but not this consistently.
Yeah, not
so
this
that'll
consistent.
it's going to give Brutal quite a nice bit of breathing room behind, with Mid and Jonesy both getting 1 second penalty. Not gaining on Squiddy in 5th though, but Squiddy is gaining on that battle for 3rd. So there's quite a bit happening throughout the field here. The action-packed race.
Let's see if the qualifying master plan from Squid actually works.
He absolutely parted the Red Seas into turn 1 there with, I believe that was MCDC, onto Brutal. It could have been someone making contact with the rear end of MCDC before that, but I just saw a green, white and red flash into the side of the black and yellow of the TDR driver. Oh, Baker Boy with a good exit out of turn 1 to try and hold off Dark Berserk with that slipstream as well. Squiddy's within a second of this pair now with 3 and a bit laps to go.
Yeah, and Brutal is just about 2.5 off that. So if anything happens with these three, Brutal will be right there with them.
Yeah, Squiddy's not had the best exit out of turn 3 there. Dark Berserk and Baker Boy having a little bit of a chance to break away from Squid here. Squid was purple through Sector 1. Corbin back on the rear end of Tate up in the lead as well, as they both push a little bit wide as we come through the infield here. Corbin is purple again by 0.065 of a second. So these two, they don't look to have been fighting too much. They look like they're working together to secure a 1-2, and then they're going to probably... Oh, Tate!
Oh, as Tate shows off some drifting skills.
Yeah, so these two look like they're going to be working together for the most part to confirm the 1-2, and then fight it out for who's going to win. Corbin loses the purple lap as he has the little moments there behind Tate. Having a look back through the rest of the field, the tail end is quite close together, but the front of the field where all the action is at for the top 2 spots on the podium and that final spot as well.
Corbin considered an overtake.
Yeah, Corbin. Tate's
Corbin's gotten loose now. Oh,
Yeah,
it's all happening.
bit of gamesmanship up the front here. Corbin's just faking a bit of a dive into that turn 3 there. So yeah, I think it's just hoping for a mistake of of Tate to nip up the inside
Oh,
somewhere.
Dark Berserk, I think, is feeling a bit of pressure here. He had a little bit of a moment in turn 3. He's pushed a little bit deep into turn 4. Last time around, a 29.006. Squiddy with a 29.009. And now well within that slipstream range in this battle for the podium, as Squiddy is 0.4 of a second up on his personal best. So hopefully Dark Berserk can hold this one together, but I know it can get a little bit nerve-wracking when you're following a car and have a car right behind you. If you defend too hard, you could make contact with the car ahead.
Tate's just got a 1 second penalty.
Oh no, that's broken up the battle.
Coming out of the last corner, just
So
ran
Tate's
a
going
bit
to
wide.
he's going to have to serve that penalty. Well, as they both are absolutely wild ride over the curb on the exit there. Squiddy had a moment as well back in 5th, so Tate's going to have to serve that penalty and then chase down Corbin. It could put him in a decent spot if he doesn't lose too much, but could be tricky for him. Squiddy looking around the outside of Darth. Darth goes deep into the corner. Squiddy tucks back up the inside and gets a great drive out of the corner. Who has the slipstream? None of them. Baker Boy's out to 1.1 seconds. Berserk tucks in behind Squiddy here.
Good move
It's
from
a beautiful
Squid.
drive out of the corner. Darth Berserk having a look up the inside to reply. Contact made.
Oh, not sure about
Squiddy
that.
holds it.
I think Darth Berserk's given that one back, I think.
He's going side by side. Brilliant
But
sportsmanship
we might
from these two.
Yeah, tucks
jump back
back
up
in.
the front as Tate is about to serve his 1 second penalty. We'll see how far that puts
it's
him
gonna be a
behind
while.
Corbin.
He needed to build a
Corbin's
gap.
right on the back.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot. Yeah, I think that's the battle for the lead over. Bar
that's
Corbin
game
getting
over.
a penalty himself.
Yeah.
Oh, they did cut a whole lot of the inside of that corner there, though, but I don't think you get the penalty for the inside. It's more on the exit there, running wide.
So, good. Do you want to talk about
Yeah.
Corbin?
Anyway. Yeah, so the battle for third looks like it's Baker's to lose.
I see Brutal's just looming in the background to clean up on anything that might happen in this exchange between Darth Berserk and Squiddy as well.
And some
Yeah,
news
I think-
from the front. Tate has found himself another 1 second penalty.
Yep, he got that in
just-
turn 1, so
Just to rub it in.
it's alright. Baker Boy's not got a great exit out of 3 there. Down to 0.6 of a second is the gap between he and Squiddy, so this could come down to the wire here. Down to 0.5, 0.4 under brakes. Oh, Darth Berserk pushed a little wide there in the background. I think I heard some squealing tyres. Baker Boy's got a nice exit, holding that half a second gap. He's wide through the first of the left-handers here. Squiddy taking that tighter line. Holding that gap nice and even. Baker Boy on the power well as we come towards the final 2 turns. Bar a penalty, I think Baker Boy's got that one, but we will jump up with Corbin as he rounds the final corner here. And comes to the line to take a victory. Beautifully done there, Corbin. Well driven. Good battle with Tate, who's going to come across the line in second. Baker Boy is going to hold third from Squiddy in fourth. Darth Berserk fifth. Brutal in sixth. Mid Risky in 7th, MCDC 8th, Jonesy 9th, Suit Lad 10th, and Oily with a half a second penalty in the last corner, just for good measure, before he crosses the line for 11th. So, do you want to congratulate our podium there, Goat, if you can remember all 3 names?
Yeah, good to do it right after I can still see them. Corbin winning that one, followed by Tate and Baker Boy. So, well done to those top 3. Good battle with Corbin and Tate in the end. The bad luck that Tate found 2 penalties, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Great defending and fight from Baker Boy to hold on to that 3rd place for. I'm pretty sure he was fighting for that for all 8 laps. So
yeah,
did very well there. Brutal to recover to 5th or 6th there. That was a good recovery drive after turn 1 as well. And Squiddy going from the back of the grid, going from 10th up to 5th in turn 1 was a great effort there, and to finish in 4th as well. But So I believe you have some words from our wonderful sponsors ready to go, Chris.
Yes, before we kick off race 3, let's hear a word from our sponsors, main sponsors at Jade Finance Australia. Be right back, folks.
Do you own a business needing new equipment? Or perhaps you're wanting a good set of wheels for that shiny new bike licence? Maybe you're after that well-earned boat for retirement. Or you desperately need a new car or caravan for those family getaways? Get in touch with Jade Finance today.
There you go. So big thank you to our main sponsor there, Jade Finance Australia. Some words from the remaining sponsors that we have here on board with us, starting with Permobile. The purpose for the wonderful individuals at Permobile is to innovate for individuals, to create advanced solutions that make the lives of people living with disabilities more enriching. The dedicated teams at Permobile work tirelessly to make that happen, and they are leading change and seeing ability. Check them out at www.permobile.com. And our final sponsor here was Hybrid Ag. They are passionate about educating people about the importance of nutrient density and the significant beneficial impact this can have on our health and the environment. We help people to apply this knowledge with a view to transform food quality as we know it today. And if you want to find out more about them, check them out at hybridag.com.au.
There you have it, folks. Big thank you to all of our sponsors. Without them, we cannot do this week in and week out. And if you want to be part of the Wheel2Wheel family, I've attached links to our Facebook page in the description box. And if you're not convinced yet, you can check out our Instagram. And when you're ready to join us, there's a Discord link that you can click. It will take you to our Discord server where you'll be welcomed with various amount of GIFs depending on your PlayStation name, and be part of the Wheel2Wheel family.
Absolutely. The only thing I have to say is just get amongst it. It's well worth it. It's an incredible community here at Wheel2Wheel.
Definitely. So, race 3, in the words of Gipman from YouTube chat, race 3 is the gauntlet for sure.
And it's also Squiddy's 200th race.
That it is.
So, yeah.
Can
Well
we
done
get
to,
an applause from you guys and from everyone here in YouTube chat. Big round of applause for Squidly to get 200 races. That's an achievement and a half.
That it is. Only the, I believe, second driver in Wheel2Wheel history.
Yes,
behind War
behind
Souls to reach 200 there. The next driver to reach that milestone is looking like it's going to be Hammy as well. So we're going to have 3 people in the 200 club very shortly.
It's an exclusive club indeed. Well, race 3. So we're gonna start the race with torrential rain conditions. Well, not torrential rain, but it's like heavy rain. So wet tires are advised, and then the gamble begins when the track dries up, and it depends on the drivers to how quickly they switch to the slicks. And it's also a challenge to when you're on slicks and to stay on between the dry line, stay in the dry line, because when you're driving on slicks and you touch just a bit of the damp patch, and you're off to spinning to Narnia.
Yes, there was quite a bit of that happening throughout Div 1, I know that much. I'm pretty sure everyone bar Tombo was off in the gravel at some point.
Oh, it was hilarious. It's probably the funniest race I've ever participated in Wheel2Wheel history.
Yeah. I even felt a bit bad about Dragon's spin there, so I let him sort of catch up, and then he just buggered off.
Yeah, interestingly here, everyone deciding to qualify on the wet tyre, nobody trying to go for the intermediates here. Oh, Jonesy might get a 3-second penalty for how he's exited the pits there, but I'm just going to say it. I'm picking Jonesy for pole as he is the last car on track. And as we saw earlier on, the last car on track has a major advantage as the track dries off massively. Could be up to a second plus difference between first and second here.
Yeah, definitely. Need to find that sweet spot between being on the right tire and the track having the right amount of grip. It's a bit like rallying with surface degradation. So some rally drivers would prefer like starting somewhere mid-pack, and that's when the surface of the rally stage grips up and they can get the best possible stage time.
So how about we jump on board a lap with Midrifsky as he's rounding the last corner.
Yeah, for sure. Take it away, Goat.
Yep. Alrighty. So coming down the main straight here, and in the wet you want to brake a little bit before the 100 board. It's a second gear corner, and you've got to watch getting on the power on the exit here. Otherwise you'll be spinning off to Narnia. And then coming down through turn 2, this is a flat out corner, and then brake again just before the 100 board, down to first gear, sorry, and be very careful on the throttle here because it's very easy to spin off to Narnia. And yep, flat out through this bit, up to 5th gear, and then you want to brake just before the 100 board. And
I'm starting to sense a theme. Oh, Corbin's got her in the outside of mid there.
Oh, right.
Completely unintentional from Corbin.
Anyway, yeah, accelerating down here. Brake at the 50 board. It's a second gear corner, but it might be third in the wet. Then give it a blip of throttle. Back down to second gear, or keeping third for the wet.
Taking curbs.
Taking curb, that's very brave. He's not a bit wide
that's
there.
Very brave.
Oh, very brave. And then braking just on the 100 board there. Down to third gear. Don't want to run too wide there, you get a penalty. Second gear for some turn in.
Bit of understeer.
If it's there. And then that is a lap.
So Corbin with a 38.7. I'm very interested in the 13R guys here. Brutal as well.
Oh,
Breaker boy.
Yep.
Squidly 39.
Squidly's third. There you go. The last few cars coming around now. Tate, Brutal coming to the line, goes top. Next up is Darth Berserk, who goes... I can't see where Darth Berserk's gone. Oily coming to the line now is going to go third, and Jonesy rounding the last corner. Oh, he's run a little wide. He's on the curbs in the grass. He's not had a good one as Jonesy. So we're going to see Brutal with his second start from pole position in a row. Tate going to be in there on the front row with him. Oily third, Baker Boy fourth, Berserk fifth, Corbin sixth, MCDC seventh with Squid on the same row there, Suit Lad ninth, Midrisky 10th, and Jonesy into 11th.
We're gonna give our drivers a few minutes to make sure they're on the right tire for the start of the race. As we see Tate some burnouts. Oh, he stopped. Being very nice. Baker boy?
Seeing more and more people jumping into the pits here.
MCDC starting. This is a very interesting dynamic. So because the way the game works is that between practice and then you go to race start, the weather resets to the initial part of the weather setting when the lobby first starts, I guess. I don't know the technical terms for that. So I think we're gonna start in full wet conditions. The track dries up very quickly from what I've seen in Div 1.
Yeah, it should. I mean, even now we've been in this for 9 minutes, and it's on the racing line, it's probably enough to go on slicks if you really wanted to try that. But here we go. I reckon we'll stay on board with our standout driver, I would say, for the night in 4th place, Baker Boy, the super sub currently in that TDR machine, waiting for these lights to come on. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights are up. Everyone on the limiter. And away we go. Who's going to be able to master the launch in the wet? It is Corbin. Corbin has equipped a rocket ship to his car.
Gosh.
Wow.
He's come from about 5th or 6th up to side by side with 2nd there. And the rain looks like it has petered down a little bit, but there is some heavy stuff coming on the radar, so it could be quite interesting there. Corbin and Brutal side by side into turn 3 here. The return of this battle yet again. They've both managed it well. Corbin a little bit of wheel spin. Baker Boy following that up with one of his own. Oily behind him doing the same.
Darth's gone round. Darth Berserk spun on turn 3.
So that's our first
so easy to do.
3.
Been there, buddy.
Corbin. Corbin
As
sideways into turn
Corbin's
4.
gone wide.
Brutal drifted away
nearly
from the
hit him.
apex. It's all kicking off,
Corbin
folks.
is all over the shop
It
right
is
now.
all
Tate up the
kicking
inside
off.
of Brutal too.
Oh,
Oh, Tate with a massive fishtail going on there as well. As some drivers are coming through the pouring rain. Oily's tucked in, mids off in the gravel on the first of the left-handers here. He's just going to gently rejoin. He's staying out of Jonesy's way. Jonesy is taking a very cautious approach as well. Up in the lead, the 2 controller drivers having an absolute drift off up there. They are side by side everywhere. Behind them, MCDC and Oily.
Tate has drifted too hard.
Contact made between Oily and MCDC there. MCDC pulling aside to redress. That one's going to lose a spot to Supla. No contact on the apex from MCDC. So, absolute chaos kicking off in the rain here. Tate goes from 2nd to 8th in his first lap. Darth Berserk is off again in last place and quite a ways back off the field.
I genuinely thought Tate was going to hold that drift through turn 9.
Yeah. It's an accurate time to say, what happened, Mr. Drifter? As he goes back to 8th from 2nd place.
And Flossy
It's Corbin leading from a TDR 1-2. Corbin's gone deep. Brutal's up the inside here to try and take the lead. He's gone with a 2nd gear run out of the hairpin there to maybe just calm it down a little bit. But definitely a top 3 breakaway, and Tate looking pretty hungry behind MCDC for 6th place back there.
Corbin's gone wide.
I'm starting to think that's his racing line.
Yeah, that's just how he takes
with
it.
the slides there.
And guys,
slightly more.
Can you make sure that Corbin has TCS off? It's a request from Flossie.
He does have TCS off, yes.
Yeah.
I think that starts genuine.
Though he could have had it on for
we can
start,
go back and check the replay afterwards, but I think he's just absolutely nailed that on the inters and just driven around the guys starting on the wets.
Yeah.
Seeing a bit of a pattern here because I don't know if it's just me, but some of our drivers on controller absolutely nails it driving on the wets. Gotta give a shout out to Tombo.
So Tate looking very aggressive behind MCDC, made a bit of contact and now has mid-risky with a run on them coming into turn 1 here. Quite a close pack from 6th through to 8th. Oily rolls on through. MCDC with a great run out of turn 1, tucks in behind Oily. He's going to pull out to the left-hand side here. The only drivers on wets is the TDR duo in 2nd and 3rd. Oh, here they come. Oh, MCDC super late on the brakes compared to Oily there.
Oh, but he ran wide. Can he hold it?
Oily with an early upshift to 2nd loses him all of that momentum. And now Tate has the run. Can confirm the radar is completely bare now, so we could see the track dry out from here on.
The gamble begins. When will they swap to slicks?
Yeah, that is the big question. I have seen people jump onto softs really early, and but you got to have a fair bit of knowledge of driving in the wet
Bit of action
on
between
slicks.
Sutlat
It
and
is
MCDC. Just saw in the background for a bit.
Yeah, something's happened with MCDC. He was right up with Tate and Oily. So coming into, I'm assuming, turn 4 or 5, something's happened there. So well off the back goes MCDC. Tate now in 6th place, trying to recover from that massive spin that we saw early on at the end of lap 1. Corbin in the lead now by 2.8 seconds. The TDR duo still holding out 2nd and 3rd, but Squiddy is breathing down their necks as we're on the run up to turn 2 and 3 now.
Oily's just gone a bit wide and lost 2 positions. I don't know if he'll get a penalty for that. I think he's gotten away with it. Yeah.
Jumping on board with Squid here, coming out of turn. Bit of a ref first gear.
He's got a great run.
Oh, mid's gone round.
Oh no, again.
Mid's gone round on
Out of
turn
turn
3.
So easy to
Yeah.
hang in there, buddy.
Yeah. Been there, mid.
Yeah, that's why it's absolutely that gamble of if you want to try and get out of there and get a good run in first gear, you could always lose it and loop it like that. But if you go for that second gear, you're slow and lose time, but the chances of that happening are very minimal. So Squiddy Purple at the moment, sitting underneath the rear wing of Baker Boy, fallen back quite a bit actually through the second of the left-handers.
Yeah, losing ground in the section. Now Tate is behind Squid by 7 tenths of a second. Less than 7 tenths now.
Oh, as he gets a little bit wild on the curb there coming into the final corner. As he goes through with a 35.6. Corbin last lap with a 34.5. He is absolutely flying away at the front.
It's also one race where Corbin doesn't really need to worry about tires, as he has been struggling in past few races. So tire conservation for this race out of the window, at least for
It's yeah, for the inters, yes. For the softs, no. Depending on how long he wants to run on the inters, he might have to go to about 14 on them, I would assume.
Yeah, or
to get those softs to the end, or he could go to hards.
Yeah, because
on about
hard
lap 8 or 9.
Oh, he's had a huge moment. Lost a heap of time.
Way out there.
Yeah, he just got on that wet, got off the dry line and, yeah, had a bit of a Mr. Drifter moment. But he's held it, so that's the main thing.
So, interestingly, Squiddy gains on Baker Boy throughout the entire lap, but coming through those 2 left-handers on the infield, Baker Boy pulls out about 0.6 of a second on the exit of him every time. Oh, Squiddy's gotten loose coming into the last corner. A little bit of braking on that curb, and that's what happens to you. Tate with a little bit of a run. I don't think we'll see a move made from Tate here, though.
it's not the ideal place to overtake, because
Tate's loose under braking.
Tate he almost did a drift entry again.
Very easy to do if you let yourself get out on those curbs. So, 0.4 of a second the gap from Tate to Squid. Squid's gone deep, Tate's up the inside. Tate trying to get on that power nicely and gets the move done. Squiddy will not be too happy with him doing that, with himself doing that. I know he'll be pretty spewing there. He's still in a good spot though. It's quite early on, 6 laps in. We're a quarter of the way into the race almost. And the strategy is still yet to play out.
Yeah, and about this time you could almost go on to slick tyres. So if we might be seeing a few people come in soon.
Yeah, I think I'm waiting another lap. One more lap, I think, and we'll start. Oh, someone's off again. It's Mid-Risky. I'm trying to spin the car back around. He's done a 180. Believe Stefco had quite a few visits to the gravel there. I had myself 2 of them as well, so you're not alone, Mid. We've all been there.
Oh, we have our first gambler, Squid, into the pits.
He's got damage as well, does Squid, so...
Maybe just to get rid of it. Hit the Squid
maybe.
into the pits.
He's got to be going on to hards. There's no way he's doing 18 on softs, right? That's not allowed.
Let's
or
see.
could he be doing a 2-stop with the softs, maybe?
Yeah.
Could be option mid in as well.
Tires are
I
on.
think he put me.
He's
He's on
on
soft. So I'm gonna say he's on a
He's doing
2-stop.
a 2-stop.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He's not fueled up at all there. Very cautious on the pit exit. No,
No.
he's gunned it in... That's, he's gunned it in first gear. Second gear would be my recommendation, getting out of those pits there.
Yeah,
Happy
I'm
200th race, Squid. Here's a 3-second penalty.
I'm sorry, Squid, but that's...
Gitman implying that Squiddy should be at home in the wet. It's turning out to not be the case right there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Squid. That was an amateur mistake. Sorry to say that, but I had to put it out. Anyway.
Third place battle starting to heat up. Tate's closed the gap to Baker Boy here. As the water on the track is slowly starting to dissipate. And I think those inters have a little bit more pace in them at this point. Baker Boy with a rough run through there. Oh, another slide through the apex of the corner. Tate patient on the power. Does get a better run. Jonesy in the pits from 6th. Oily in 5th picks up a half a second penalty as well.
They battle for third place. See if Tate gets a good run out of turn 1.
He's got a better run, but it's not going to be enough unless it's an absolutely massive launch up the inside. But at this point, he's just got to chip away at that gap until he can get himself in a good overtaking opportunity. He's got on the power nicely out of turn 3. He's going to have the inside run on Baker Boy. He's got the nose alongside. It's at about Baker Boy's right rear wheel. Later on the brakes goes Tate. Beautifully done.
Textbook overtake. Not easy to do in these conditions.
Oh, Mid-Risky's around again. I'm gonna... don't show that. Move on.
Yep. I'm not gonna bother, show... Anyway.
So, the gaps are quite spread. We've got MCDC and Suitlad in 5th and 6th at the moment. Oily is quite close behind them, but has that half a second penalty that's going to drop him off the back of them. Unfortunately, after setting a personal best last time around. MCDC looking for the slipstream of Suitlad. It's at 0.9 of a second. We're getting really far into that pit window now.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think I've done what is called official Sky
Suitlad's
curse.
around! Suitlad is around.
I just jumped on board with Squid to see how he's doing with the softs, and he proceeded to spin it coming into turn 6. That's official guy's curse.
So, while you were on board with that, Suitlad has looped it out of the last corner. He's got front arrow, rear arrow, and left side suspension damage. He's absolutely beaten the car up, unfortunately.
And Jonesy's looped it at turn 10. Not sure.
It's where a lot of people are coming unstuck there on the softer tyre, by the looks of it.
Yeah, this is when it gets interesting, is when people start getting onto those slick tyres and the curbs are still very wet. And this track you normally use a lot of the curves, and you got to really change your driving style to stay fast here and only drive on the track and don't touch any curbs.
This is why the S10 license test in this game is so important.
It was an easy one, honestly. It took me 3 laps. I'm not kidding. It took me 3 laps. Easy done. I got to it about a week later than everyone and heard all the stories. Oh, it's so hard to do. I busted it out in 3 laps. Easy done. Don't know what everyone was complaining about.
Screw you, Dragon.
Yeah. No one asked for you. Anyway.
Yeah, so Dragon's out to about...
I wish, mate. I wish.
Corbin is out to about an 8.5 second lead back to Brutal, and then 1.5 seconds back is Tate. We had a big moment there.
Time out of there. He's taken 0.3 of a second out of Brutal on the exit of that corner alone there.
Yeah, and it wasn't the cleanest exit either.
I think that's just Tate's driving style.
I think it is too. Yeah, it's sort of coming back as Jonesy's gone round again on that last corner.
Oh no. And the auto clutch isn't letting him go either.
Everyone's calling you out right now, Dragon.
That's alright, they can do that from a YouTube chat. Tate closing the gap on Brutal for second here though, down to 0.8 of a second.
That's quick.
This is our closest battle on track here.
That's Brutal and Tate still staying out.
Oh, Brutal's on that grass, having a wide run out of there.
Maybe
Brutal with the worst looking tyres on those wets as well compared to Tate.
Oh, Tate.
Oh, Tate's braking on the curb.
Did he consider an overtake, or is that just the car?
No, that was he broke on the curb and the car got a little away from him there. But down to 0.6 of a second the gap now.
I think
as Baker Boys started to fall back off of these guys a little bit.
Slicks are the time. As Squid has set the fastest
it's
lap
mid
of the race, and we don't
Mid Risky's spun it again in turn 3 and had to give way to our battle for second as well. Mid not having a great time, unfortunately. Neither is Jonesy. Oh, Tate's within 0.3 of Brutal. There was not a whole lot between the two coming through turn 4 there. As we come through the infield, Tate's got 2 wheels on the grass. So he's really looking for grip everywhere he can. He's sliding the car through the corner. Brutal gets a little loose. Oh, contact made from Tate. Dab of the brake to make sure he doesn't go bump and run there from Tate. Not happy with himself. Bit of shake of the car there, like a shake of the head. Oh, Brutal's coming in. Tate's
Brutal's coming in.
Hit him a little bit. So, Brutal coming in, lap 11. Is he going to go for the softs, or is he going to try the hards here? I feel like he's going to have to go for the softs.
It can go to the end of the race. I think for my race, I did what I think is my personal best of 14 laps or so on softs. It's a challenging path.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
I love you too, Dragon.
Either.
Mate, I could not get 8 laps out of the softs on controller, so the fact that people are getting 14 is not fun.
There you go, Brutal. Brutal on softs doing the rest of
Oily
50% of the race.
Oily in 5th place has picked up a half a second penalty as well, and just behind Oily we have Suitlad and Dark Berserk within a second of each other. Taking a very tight line through turn 3 there, and both not getting the greatest runs. Suitlad moving across the track to drive in the wet to keep those intermediate tyres cool so they don't wear as fast, which is quite smart of him there.
Yeah,
try to keep the tyre temperatures cool, keep the wear down so you can go as long as you need to.
Definitely, as these wet tyres, when they're being driven on dry surfaces, they get really, really hot. Apex just saying, Dragon, you can go 15 softs, but not just 7.
Well, Apex, I guess you shouldn't have spun several times. Dark Berserk in the pits. Suit Lad now within 3.2 of Oily after that penalty was burnt. The next closest battle I see on track is Baker Boy and MCDC, 1.7 seconds between them as we run down to turn 2 and 3 on lap 13.
The fastest lap of the race is still being held by Squid. Oh, and we just improved it. 1.8.
There we go. So not playing around is Squid. There's Brutal just up the road, 2.5 seconds the gap. But Brutal on some fresh soft tyres. Dark Berserk emerging from the pits now. He's going to be in a massive zone by himself. Jonesy is only losing it through the last corner right now.
I jumped on.
And
I
there's the
jumped on
3
board
second
with him,
penalty.
and he spun it.
So not only has Darth Berserk spun it on pit entry, Jonesy spun it coming through turn 10 again as well. So this with this 3 second penalty, get on the dry line, Darth Berserk, please. My stress levels were going up so much seeing him try and get up to speed on the wet part of the track.
The visual guys curse strikes again. I was on board with him.
Alright. Battle for third here. MCDC's got an incredible run. Baker Boy's just letting him on by. He's not trying to fight that one. Keeping those wet tyres cool as well, running on the water. Oily in from 5th place for his stop. So we'll see if Baker Boy can stick with MCDC here.
Oily's in the pits.
Yep, mentioned that one. Suit Lad following in Oil's lead. I can't see Squiddy going to the end. I think Squiddy's gonna have to stop again on these tyres.
He went in very early, right?
He's 6, end of 6.
Yeah, he definitely has to stop again.
Oily coming out on the soft tyres. Darth Berserk, whoa, burning that. Oh no! He's burnt the penalty on.
Oily almost binned it. He almost binned the pit exit. Oh my goodness.
So Darth Berserk, burning his penalty, saw Jonesy coming, who's just binned it out of turn 10 again.
I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop spectating people coming out.
Please let me say my story. So Darth Berserk burnt his penalty, had to get out of the way for Jonesy, went onto the wet line, and then when he started accelerating after the 3 second slowdown, looped it again.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what, Chris? I think we should jump on board with Corbin as he exits the pits.
That's a good idea.
That I can make an exception.
Yeah. And Suit Lad went into the pits and had a moment, went over the lines.
Yep, I was on.
And
I was on board with him.
Yeah, and then he came out of the pits and then came out of the pits and looped it again, and found himself 6 seconds.
Here comes Corbin.
Okay.
Here comes Corbin.
Here comes.
Is he gonna just? I'm assuming just a quick shift up to second. Yep. On the dry line. He's done it. That's how it's done, Div 2.
I'm so proud.
Look, that early upshift to second makes all the difference. Oh, Brutal's got on the curb out of turn 1, and he's gone around. He's given up that spot to Squid.
No.
Suit Lad's gone around.
It is just... it's like we're spectating a demolition derby right now. There is just everything happening everywhere. Tate and Midrisky are together on track. Midrisky's been lapped, but is hustling Tate right now.
Oil almost went round. That was a big moment from him. See, there's a dry line forming, and when they just get off it, there's just no grip.
Absolutely no grip whatsoever.
Absolutely nothing. So they need to be so careful.
Surely Tate comes in, right?
But
no, he's going to stay out and impede Midrisky a little longer. Mid on some fresh soft tyres, not able to get by Tate. Oh, that's it's cruel, this game sometimes.
Could Tate stop this?
With all of that spinning, we have got a bit of a close battle from 9th through 11th from our best spinning tops. and MCDC into the pits as well. Look, I think we should just continue the tradition of watching people. Oh, Squiddy in pit
Squid.
has not nailed the pit entry.
Okay.
Will he get a 3-second penalty?
I
catch
think
it.
he might. Let's MCDC getting the tyres changed now. Let's just
yes.
thrive. Let's just thrive in the chaos here
Yeah,
as
yes.
the fuel
Mid-
goes into MCDC's car.
Mid's gone round.
Yes, and also yes,
Here we go.
because slicks have tire treads.
Here,
Here we go.
There we go.
Come on, MCDC, you can do this, buddy.
my buddy.
Look at that.
Look at
Nice
that.
and
he's
clean,
nailed it.
half
He's
throttle.
nailed it.
He's done
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Next
That's
up on
how
the
it's
chopping
done.
block is Squiddy, rolling out of the pit entry now. I believe he's got Oily coming around his outside now to
He
take
does.
6th spot off him.
Oh,
Can
I
oh
believe
no!
he's
Squid's got a
Oily's
3-second
gone
penalty.
around.
Oh no.
Absolute chaos, ladies and gentlemen. This track is absolutely brutal.
Here we go,
Next
guys.
on the
It's not
chopping
it's
block,
not
we've
over.
got Tate.
We're gonna have Tate next.
Here we go.
I believe we might see Baker Boy coming in here as well.
He's a lead foot if I've ever seen one. So we'll be we'll be
Baker
on
Boy's
board
still
with him
getting out.
for the pit
He
exit.
hasn't pitted, has he?
There's no way Baker Boy's no stopping this, right? Oh,
There's
there's
no
Corbin.
way.
Hello, Corbin
Hello.
looking ready to take the race lead. Baker Boy could be a real pain here and sit right in the middle of the dry line and make Corbin on the slicks have to overtake on the wet line here.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very brave and dangerous thing to do over on slicks.
Tate's rolling to the pit exit, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Has he learnt from the 43 other spins? Oh,
Nearly.
He's- there we go. Early up
He's-
shift. Here
he's
comes
done it.
Brutal. Just a second behind Tate now, as Tate gets back up to speed. Risky in the pits with some new
Squid.
tyres as well. He's fine. Don't worry about Squid. Squid's fine.
Oh.
Happy 200th, mate.
And Corbin
Right.
has made his way to Baker.
That he has. I
Oh, mid's gone round on the exit, the pit lane.
he's
I wasn't on board with him though, so
Jonesy's sliding through turn 10 again as well, so we're just
it's
the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So,
Baker Boy,
oh,
he's
there we
gonna
go.
come in the
Finally,
pits.
Ah.
So
finally.
he is our next source of entertainment.
Yes, and we have Brutal chasing down Tate, which is a little bit entertaining, but not as entertaining as seeing people spin on the pit exit.
Tate touched curb there on slicks. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
What lap is Midrisky
Oh,
on? 16, unfortunately. The fuel going into Baker Boy's car now. He's in a massive gap on track here. Squiddy is rounding turn 9 and 10 now. Baker Boy rolling to the pit exit. Here we
on
go.
Intermediates, not slicks.
That he is.
Interesting.
So he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, look at that. That's how you do the pit exit, guys. Just use inters.
Yeah. Just
He's like, what's
floor it.
everyone struggling for? I don't know.
Yeah.
So he has 12 seconds, 11 and a half seconds to Squiddy to work with here, and about 7 laps. I don't know. Maybe it's just the safe call from Baker Boy to reduce his chances of having a big moment and losing more than the 1 spot, which would be a smart call.
That's smart, but it also depends on how fast it's going. Because
I think even if he loses that spot to Squid, it'll be better than if you spin and lose 15 to 20 seconds and lose the spot to Squid and Oil.
yeah, so
Damage
respect the
limitation.
decision. Yeah, respect the decision. Anyway,
And he can still run around on the wet patches of the track to keep those tyres cool if necessary as well. But Tate breaking that gap to about 1.5 seconds. Oh, he's lost it into turn 1, has Tate. He's touched the curb, under braking again.
The
And he's
commentator's
lost it.
strikes
Brutal
again.
goes on through. That's not the commentator's
Oh,
curse,
he's
that's
gone
the
round
Tate.
again.
That's the Tate curse. Oh, he's
Oh, he's
rejoining
come
the
back on
track on
track.
the racing line.
That
Whoa.
was so close.
He's trying desperately to get going again, but he's done that. I've seen him do that 3 or 4 times into turn 1, just clipping that curb, under braking and getting the car loose. He held it all of those other times, but eventually your luck runs out, as we saw there.
It's a really hard. It's a really hard habit to get rid of, isn't it? Because you're so used to driving in dry conditions for so much. Then you come across these conditions, and yeah, just the habit doesn't go away.
No, but that's what practicing in the wet would have taught these drivers. So I'm assuming some of them haven't quite got it down to a science yet. But Darth Berserk is chasing down Oily at a rate of knots. Jonesy in the pits again for his last stop. But Darth Berserk's looking to be on some pretty good pace here as Oily is struggling quite massively.
Oh, considered a move, and for some reason,
Yeah, he was on the wet there. Do we spectate Jonesy on the pit exit is the question.
Yeah.
We kind of have to at this point, don't we?
I mean, we've done it to a lot of drivers.
Someone goes by. It wasn't Midrisky, who's the car behind.
All right, here we go. Jonesy's out of the pits.
Come on, Jonesy, you can do it. Tentatively around the corner. He's got a 3-second for the entry. He's nailed the exit though. There we go.
Oh, lovely. You love to see it.
Okay, back to our battle between Oily and Darth Berserk in 7th place. I think that's the closest battle that we have right now.
That certainly is. Darth Berserk, I think he bottomed out the car coming through turn 10 there. He got massively sideways and lost a couple of tenths to Oily.
Darth Berserk's wipers are still on.
No, he's in the spray. It's got to be what it is.
Not seeing a lot of spray from his car.
There's a bit.
Oh, yeah,
there's a bit. I saw a little bit. Yeah, he dipped a tire in the water a little. There's some.
There you go.
there's some spray. It's not much, you know. He's just extra cautious.
Yeah.
Bits.
Trying to flatten his battery.
Here he goes.
Oh, side by side.
He's got a massive run out of there, and he's looking like, yep, Oily's going to give it up.
Excellent run from Darth Berserk.
Oh no, he dipped a tire on the curb. Well held, Oily. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, my heart was in my throat for a second there. I thought he was gone. We do have another guest to the pit exit show, though, in Suit Lad, currently 9.
Oh, we do too.
I wish Oily doesn't need to put his pants into the washing machine. Suit Lad exit the pits with a half-a-second penalty.
Okay. Nice and cautious. Here we go. Look at that beautiful throttle control, half throttle, not taking any chances. There we go. We're learning, ladies and gentlemen. We're learning.
It learns.
It only took us, what was that, like 6 to 10 incidents? Oh, Suit Lad's got a 3-second penalty for the pit exit. Never mind. There's no winning anymore. It's absolutely brutal. Something to take note of, gentlemen. Corbin has had a moment and lost 11 seconds last lap. The gap just 6 seconds back to Brutal now. So maybe not as safe as he previously was.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's gotten a little sideways into 10. So it's absolutely not over for Brutal yet. I'd say it's not over for about half the field to improve still, as penalties and spins can happen at any moment. That drying line is starting to widen a bit though. So it's a little safer throughout for most now. Oh, Suit Lad, no. He gave way to Tate for the blue flags, got back on the power, and he is parked in the wall currently. He lost the spot to Jonesy as well in that instance. As he's trying to get going, but he's being messed up by the auto clutch system of Gran Turismo. So he's just free revving in the wet part of the track, unfortunately.
As the field is spread out, I think.
Yeah, it's quite even gaps throughout everyone, so do we double down on the spectator curse and keep an eye on our race leader right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's already brave.
Straight
Corbin's
away.
already brave.
I saw him do that a couple of laps ago, and I believe that's how he lost the race win the last time we were here at the Red Bull Ring. Oh my goodness. He doesn't care about these tyres. They've only got to survive 2 laps. He's... whatever. You know, he doesn't need them for next race. He's chucking them straight in the bin. It just shows he is pushing to the absolute limits in this car still to try and extend that gap and make a statement here.
Yeah, although the fastest lap is still being held by Squid with a 1:30.004.
Squiddy 1.5 seconds behind Baker Boy as well. Could be another area to watch here. So Baker Boy on those intermediates doesn't have to worry about all this jargon of, you know, dry line, wet line, whatever. Just carry on as you were, sir. He's setting a personal best on lap 23 on the inters. 1.1 seconds to gap to Squiddy, but even if he loses that spot to Squid, he has about 9 to 8 seconds back to Darth Berserk. So pretty comfy for at least a 6th place, and he can probably fight for this 5th spot if he really wants to. Squiddy's got to be very careful here, under power, not to cross over onto the wet part of the track either.
As you say,
Baker Boy's not going to defend that one. It's dry, but it turns to the wet part right here. Ooh, he's right on the edge of it. And he makes the overtake. Oh, he's gotten loose there as well. Very well done.
Very nervous.
Very, very well done there to Squiddy. And Corbin starts the final lap of the race. I guess we'll just spectate him for a victory lap, or
as Petruski's.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it was mid, I didn't really want to mention. I feel so bad for everyone who's spun, but I also know that pretty much everyone had these same dramas in Div 1, and I'm sure there was a few in Div 3, 4, and D League that have had similar problems, so we'll just keep our eye on our race leader. It's been a dominant performance here tonight from Corbin. No Flossie for him to take battle with, showing that he is firmly in that 2nd spot in Div 2. But we did see a bit of variety in qualifying, and I'm sure Brutal is now quite happy that Flossie was not there tonight, as he collected 2 pole positions for himself here, did Brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, Corbin gets me so nervous running 2 wheels on the curb through there. 2 corners to get through. Nicely through 9. That curb looks to have dried out a bit as well, so you can use it a little. He's done well as Corbin. Beautifully done. Come across to take that checkered flag on the wet line. Brutal coming out of the last corner now to claim 2nd place from pole position. Very well done there for Brutal. Has he gone early? He has gone early.
He did.
MCDC is going to come home and take a 3rd place here.
That's like a tactical strategy too. Like put the yellow flag before the finish line to prevent any overtakes.
Tate's gotten loose on the exit of the corner there. Midriski's going to come home there. Tate putting on a drifting show on the wet part of the track as well. Squiddy with a well-earned 5th place here. The only person to make the 2-stop payoff.
Yep,
he's doing the same thing.
Lap.
Jump on the wet part of the track.
Well done,
congratulations on your 200. It's good.
Yeah.
Baker Boy 6th. Darth Berserk is coming around turn 9 and into 10 now to take 7th place. He's held off Oily quite well.
With his wipers still on.
Yep. And then we have Oily, who's going to come home and claim 8th place. Oh, early upshift onto the wet. Then we have Jonesy 9th, Suklad 10th, and Midrisky in 11th, rounding out our field. Congratulations to our top 3, which Goat remembers.
Yes. Corbin, Brutal, and MCDC.
That's the one.
Well,
there we go.
Well done.
There you
well
go.
done,
Round of
Mark.
applause, everyone. Go.
You're only forgettable once, MCDC, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very
Yeah.
well done to all of our drivers here tonight. It's a very tough round. It was very entertaining to watch. I'm sure there's quite a few people seeing some red mist right now, so I hope they can all go for a little bit of a walk, have a drink, do whatever calms them down, and watch the stream back and laugh at themselves like we did.
Yeah. It was good.
Race
That wise words from Goat there. Thanks,
Yeah.
mate.
Race
Yeah.
Was good.
Yeah. I like race cars.
Well, I'll finish it off with another congratulations to our podium of Goat.
Corbin. It was Corbin, and
Yep. Corbin, Brutal, and MCDC. Congratulations on
Yeah.
the podium. Thank you for joining us here tonight, everyone in the YouTube chat, and for joining me here in the comms box. Go. It's been something.
It's been something else, Dragon. It has, yeah. It's been great. Thanks for commentating.
Yeah,
And,
thanks, Chris, for jumping on the visuals and letting the whole world see the beautiful pit exit donuts, as Tate puts it. He's the CEO of them,
Yes,
but didn't
he
do
is.
any.
Yeah,
It's
he
been.
is.
It was so much fun. It's so much fun.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, as always, don't forget to wash your hands.
And watch out for seeing your burgers in your shower. Till then, take care.
Fight.